Hi, my name is Graham, and this is my submission video for the Agents MCP Hackathon by Hugging Face. So this is a short video for track 3, the agentic demo. I also have a long video in my README. So for this video, I'll be explaining the usage purpose of the application in the agentic demo track. So this will be a powerful and creative application of an AI agent. So let's go to the code here. We see we've got the app up here, some boxes here, but we'll quick go to the code and I'll show that I'm tagged with that. So I'm tagged with two of them, MCP server track and agent demo track. This is going to be the agent demo track. The other thing to note is I have a long form video that is for an hour. I talk about my idea, and then I have some of my work that I've done captured as well on this. So let's dive into what the application actually does. So one thing to understand about this application right away is it's really underpowered. I was just concerned about running out of credits or getting accidental charges. So I did everything with a local model. So we can look at that code right now as well. If we go into files and we go into source and look at and we go into app and look at the code. So I'm setting up a model. So I'm selecting the best model based on the environment you have. So that's in utils model configuration there. So if I go back to my files, go to utils model configuration, we can see we've got a number of model options depending on what you've got to run with. So my local environment, I have a RTX 2060, which has 6 VRAM. So I use this here. This environment, again, I'm concerned about. I think if I had upgraded here, it would have been a lot better. But right now I'm using the uh, CPU basic, so I don't even have a GPU. So I just want to be really transparent about that because we're going to see that it doesn't work so well. But I think if you give it more power, it's going to work really well. So here's the yeah. So what it does is it selects the best local model for your system, and we'll go back to app.py. Yeah, and then it initializes the LLM. Um, so build LLM comes from services.llm. So we'll look at that. Okay, so it does things like sets the temperature. Temperature is how the because remember the LLM chooses probable next terms, so the you can adjust its ability to choose higher or lower probabilities with the temperature. So like how temperatures, yeah. So like how volatile is it? Will it give you kind of curveball things, or will it really try to be deterministic? You can adjust that with the temperature. So we also have the max tokens and the context window for the model. They're set to very small values because of the limitations I'm working with, but they can be adjusted. So let's go back to the app PY. So that's we're building the LLM model with particular parameters that you can configure. Then this is the key to my application. We're building embeddings. So that comes from services.embeddings. So let's take a look at that. And this is the key here. So I'm using Llama Index, and that was one of the things from the hackathon submissions. I believe if you use LLAMA, spelled correctly, you can get a Llama Index Choice Award. So I'm going for that award for sure because I'm using Llama Index to create embeddings. So embeddings are special numbers that the LLM can use to retrieve from a vector database in a more efficient way. So I'm hoping that uh, makes sense. What that I'm using a llama index for that, and why that is necessary. Now you might see some other medical submissions, and you have to ask what are they doing? If they're simply just calling out to a powerful LLM using their credits, well, now we've got the problem I'm trying to solve here. Um, they're using an LLM which can hallucinate, which is more often than not, perhaps they'll get things right. You're describing your symptoms, and the LLM gets things right more often than not. But what I'm doing is something different. I'm creating an NPC server that the LLM can use as a tool. The agentic LLM doesn't have to take a guess or hallucinate or predict the next likely term. The LLM can use ICD-10 data that has been embedded in using a model so that the LLM can retrieve it and actually give accurate real medical information based on these codes. There's nearly 100,000 of these codes, probably more, because they're all for multiple different things, many different things. They're not just diagnostic codes. There's drug codes too, so it might be able to recommend drugs as well. So this data here is the ICD data. 10 is the 10th iteration of it. The other exciting thing that it could do is store the responses, and if they don't map cleanly to any of these codes, the responses from the user can be used to build the next set of codes, the ICD 11. So lots of really exciting applications in the future for using these codes. So when you look at another submission, and it works really nice. It's got a nice UI. It's got a nice interface. It's not a clunky, junky mess like mine. Well, if they're just using an LLM, if they're just doing things that, you know, I I'm trying to innovate here, right? Like I'm using these codes and I'm trying to give the agentic LLM a tool it can use to actually give medical consultations based on real medical information, these ICD codes, and not just hallucinations or predictions. So yeah, that's so we'll go back to app PY. Just wanted to point that out there because there is that Llama Index Choice Award, which I'm definitely going for. Um, so Yep, and then so the next one. So now that we got those embeddings, which are important, so that I can look at that, we create a system index. So this is the thing that I believe would be served up by the MCP. I'm going to create another video for the MCP server. So this would allow any MCP client, any LLM you're talking to use this tool. This is the tool that would be used, but we can see I don't have that set up yet, and the deadline is looming. So this might just be for the agentic AI track, but okay, so after that, I've got a system prompt. So we're creating an agent, right? That is a medical assistant that narrows down what is the patient talking about. And this is exciting because you could have this be set up on a phone line. Like instead of calling 911, you can call 711, 611, 211, and you can talk to this LLM And at each turn, so the LLM is agentic because it listens to you, and then it asks focused clarifying questions based on the ICD-10 codes. So if you say, I've been coughing for a week and I can't. It can ask you like, is your cough dry or productive, and that can narrow it down to specific ICD-10 codes. So it can continue this agentically with you, and then once its confidence level is high enough, it can pin down a code, and it can put that in a database with a timestamp, your information, and your code, and you can track your health really well just through natural language conversations with the LLM. I have a ChatGPT Pro subscription. I talk to it every day, and imagine if it had that tool where it's keeping medical records about me based on what I talk to it about, and the codes are exhaustive. We've got codes for all sorts of things, so it could even track the moods through the code. It doesn't have to just to track whether you have a broken arm or a broken leg. So the next one is the generator handler. So this is the stuff for actually clicking the buttons in the UI. I have a pretty simple UI, but it's functional. So we've got more about the UI here. Try to add functionality for because the goal with this in the end is you want to have when you call a doctor's office, at least in my experience, and now I'm in the USA, so anyone from around the world might laugh at me when I talk about my doctor's office experiences. But when you call them, you get someone at the front desk that's not the doctor. I don't know what kind of knowledge they have. They probably in the US have some legal restrictions about giving medical advice or anything like that. But they generally, in my experience, ask some kind of questions about like what ails you. So, imagine that they have a tool like this, right? They can really pin it down to like the actual medical code. And that's really important because if your doctor put in, at least in the US, which again, I'm a, but if your doctor puts in the wrong code, it goes to the insurance wrong, it shows up in your records wrong. You have to get that code really right, and they're trained, they're good at what they do. But imagine having an LLM that can do that. It would be so valuable for doctors' offices, hospitals, emergency rooms. You call into that line, 711, 611 instead of 911. I'm in the USA, so 911 is our emergency line. If there's an emergency, you call 911. Um, so imagine calling into a line, and it can transfer you over to 911 if it maps to a really serious code, something like that. You can reduce the call burden to 911 by having a LLM use this MCP server that serves up these codes. Yeah, so then the last part is the about me. So I'm going to keep this as short as I can. I tend to be a bit long-winded. We're at the 13-minute mark. Hopefully it's not too long. Again, I do have the full hour and then multiple work sessions. But I'm going to end it with a demo. So let's go to my app. All right, and then I'll demo the speaking the symptoms. And I do have these optional this box to power the application up, but that's not going to be a part of this demo. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get this working by the deadline, but let's see what happens. I have a headache. There we go. So it did work in the demo. I have a headache shows up in the symptoms box. So let's hit submit and see what happens. Okay, so now it's processing the quest. It received the input, it cleaned up the text, and now it's running a semantic query. So it's trying to figure out, like, what does that mean that you have a headache? Like what code might that map to? what question can it ask to kind of turn into it? Well, is it a sharp pain? What area of your head is aching, the back or the front? How long have you had the headache for? These are all really important diagnostic questions that you probably would be asked by a doctor, or if you call 911 and you say, help, I have a really bad headache. It's the worst it's ever been before. They might ask you, did you consume anything? Like, because maybe you're poisoned, right? And there's all kinds of codes in the ICD-10 that map to poisonings. So accidental poisoning codes are included in the ICD-10 specifications. So it can assist with anyone doing that. So we can see it's very slow right now. It's got no power. It's running in this local space with only CPU. There's no GPU in this local space. So um, I'm just gonna sit on it here and wait for it to show. I'll talk in the meantime as it's going. But this is for the agent demo track. I've got them tag us both because for the MCP server, you can imagine how powerful this would be as an MPC server, right? You can feed it over to other LLMs and serve this up to hospitals, to emergency call centers, just to a home line. Because how valuable would it be to have your uh, state track and to be able to coordinate it to various things. Like I've been doing this hackathon, for a while, so not getting a lot of sunlight, kind of being very sedentary. So if I'm talking to the LLM and like, oh, I just don't feel good. Perhaps there's a way it can use these codes and come up with a really good strategy to improve my health. And that's quite a bit different from what LLMs normally do. This tool really empowers the LLM to act more effectively in a medical context. Okay, so this is going to take a while. I do have it so that it can run locally. I do have it set up so that the MPC server was going. So let me just quick roll back the a commit to where it's working. So if I do git log uh, dash dash one line uh, with a spelled properly with an E, and then I do git revert this last commit. Well, actually, I think I'll just turn the MCP server off for now, so I can set this to false. Okay, and then I should be able to. I'm just thinking maybe it'll run a little bit faster in my local environment because I have an RTX 2060. So I have a lot less power in my local environment than the one up there, but I have a GPU whereas the other one does not. Okay, so we can see my transcription changed. Yeah, there's really kind of not enough power to do this, and then unfortunately. Um, I was really concerned about running out of credits as I did this because I'm new to all this. So I was concerned I would make a lot of mistakes and not use my credits effectively. Okay, and this is neat because now you can see what happens when I start up the application. So you can see that it detects my system specifications. So I've got 6G of GPU VRAM. I don't have to have the tiny tier. I can go right to the small tier. So it gets a local model for me to use. We can see more information about that. Then it loads the model in. It configures the embeddings and it creates the symptom uh, index. So that's really that's what can be used via MCPC server to enable the LLM to actually use a real tool, these ICD codes, to give medical consultations rather than just hallucinating things. So I think if I revert, yeah, if I revert some of these, or um, if I revert my changes now, at some point it will likely work on the uh, up here. So continue keeping an eye on it. I think it will work a bit better locally. So I'll keep trying to run it locally. Um, But again, there's a lot of potential in this. As I said before, it can help to determine what doesn't fit neatly into a code. What are people saying where this LLM, these really powerful LLMs nowadays, they're getting more and more powerful, and they'll continue to get more powerful still. They can't figure it out. Like this person just isn't they asked every question and they just can't figure it out. Well, let's store this whole conversation in a database, this natural language conversation. It's recorded, it's transcribed, and let's figure out like what is happening to this person. Like when they actually go in to see a doctor. Let's get more information when they actually do some medical treatments, like giving them a drug. Let's see what happens, a month from now, or weeks from now, or even a few years from now. Like, and then let's build out the next set of codes if we really narrow it down. So if we really get visibility and insight into what is actually going on with a patient to a level we could never have before. And we do that with these codes. We don't do it with just a regular LLM because again, they don't have the proper tools to uh, to do this in a way that is safe. They're gonna hallucinate, and the information isn't going to be reliable. All right, so here we go. So we've got the next steps happen. So it retrieved the context entries. It thought about what I said. So I said I think I said, yeah, I have a headache. It thought about it. Then it built a prompt, and the prompt is part of its agentic capabilities. So it's going to think about what I said, and it's going to look and see which codes map to what I say. And then it's going to have a confidence level. So we can see right here. Now there's an error here because I wanted it to return JSON. It doesn't return JSON. This is what it returns right now. Again, if you have more power in the space, it's going to do a better job at returning what is intended. So the clarifying question that I would ask, here we go, is your headache dull or sharp? The user response, hypothetically, it's sharp. This I learned all of this weekend, so I'll have to bear with me here. If this does really well in this hackathon, I would love to keep working on this in some official capacity. Right now, I'm just using my own time, and it's just me. So with the team and with some money coming in to support the team, it's easy to imagine how this could be implemented properly. Okay, so the user would say it's sharp. Another the agent would say, does this headache get worse when you move? Yes, it gets worse when I move. Is the headache constant or intermittent? It's constant. So this all goes into the context. The user's headache is constant and sharp. So we know that ICD-10 code Z59.9, migraine unspecified with aura, might be the answer. So we can assign a confidence. So the LLM can assign a confidence score to that, and it can ask a follow-up question. Did you have an aura with your headache? So so the final question would be, does the headache have any associated systems with nausea or sensitivity to light? Yes, they do. Okay, well, the LLM has a really high confidence. The code is Z59 point 0.9. So now when the patient goes to the hospital, they get stamped with Z59 point 0.9. And all of this is all the doctor has to do is verify or deny that, and right there they get the codes. What should they do for them? They get scientific research R&D codes. Okay, we're doing this trial on migraines associated with this code. This person would be great for the trial. Let's put that into the code base. We have a really good participant for this medical trial. So there you have it. I wish it were more powerful, but um, with the time and resources that I had, I'm pretty proud of it. I think I could probably, if I had another day or so and more energy, I could probably get it to a better place than this. But this is what I got so far. So hopefully it's enough uh, to hopefully you're all impressed. So. Thanks.